Alright, Yarn Talk, as a crafter and science educator, I need to talk about the acrylic experiments you've been doing. A lot of you are not proving what you think you're proving. First off, if your point compares two materials, you need to run the experiment with both materials. I happen to have accidentally done the stovetop experiment before, with both acrylic and 100% cotton. As you can see, they're both damaged. And frankly, this experiment doesn't reflect proper use of a hot pad of any material. Obviously, accidents happen, but this alone doesn't prove anything about potholders, and with the context of what happens to other materials, all it proves is that you shouldn't put fabric materials on a hot stovetop. Similarly, experiments that lack a characteristic of a potholder, like thickness, may only demonstrate the importance of that characteristic. On the other hand, the experiments I've seen that better reenact typical use are misidentifying what happened to the acrylic in their experiment. When acrylic melts, it becomes a liquid, as that's what melting means, and losing its shape is the danger people are concerned about. You can tell it's been melted because the fluid acrylic resolidifies as a blob and it's no longer yarn-shaped. However, at much cooler than melting point, acrylic, like all thermoplastics, can be softened, in which case it becomes a little bit more pliable, but it still remembers that it is yarn because it isn't becoming a liquid. We use this property in order to block acrylic pieces and set them in a particular shape. In this case, the weight of the cast iron is flattening it while it's in that moldable state, but it isn't melting. So what these experiments prove is that a hot cast iron Dutch oven fresh out of a 450-degree Fahrenheit oven will only get my acrylic potholder hot enough to soften it, not melt it. And that's really interesting! Surprising results are an opportunity to learn more! I do want to make a video about why this works, but it's going to challenge some assumptions that a lot of people are holding on to tightly and passionately because in many cases these assumptions can keep us safer. However, an assumption keeping us safe does not mean that a better understanding will make us less safe. So let's be kind and keep learning.